Hello again, AJ from My Davis Emporium. I'm going to do another video. This one is going to be to show you some cool ways to create skies for your graphics pieces. Now, there are several different ways you can actually do this. The way I like to normally do it is to use original pictures that I have found on that are clouds to be able to use for the different different skylines that I want to use. And so right now what I'm going to do is I'm going to try to create something really cool. I'm going to use a couple of different clouds and on this blank canvas and make them to where they're overlapping but different opacities. So, you know, light and dark, thin them out, make them a little bit see-through. Because the levels that I have in here, I can do that with. Okay, so I've placed my first one on here, and I have dimmed that down a little bit to where you can still see some of the actual grain of the canvas itself. Now I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to grab another cloud picture, a different one, and put it on top of that one. First I want to center it. So I've got the crosshairs that tell me it's centered both vertically and horizontally. And I'm going to place that over top. And once I get to a certain point, I have to actually do it with my fingers. Okay, and we're going to dim that one down a little bit to where you can see through it and be able to see the clouds that are behind it with the pink, so that you get a nice cool effect there, but more clouds. I dimmed it a little too much. Take it up a little bit because I dimmed it a little too much there. All right, there we go. I like that. And then we are going to go ahead and save that. And there is our finished skyline. Now that's one way you can do skylines. Another way you can do skylines, let's go ahead and reverse that back to the blank slate, is to go ahead and use an overlay. Now these overlays, in this one it's in the blending tools on the photo director. Different programs that might actually be labeled differently, but there's different ones I can choose from on this one. Like this one is like a sunset or a sunrise that I could use. There's also a darkened sky that's either a sunset or a sunrise as well. There's a nice white cloud one that I could use. Lightning, one of my favorite effects to use for certain things. In fact, you've probably, if you've looked through my artwork, you've seen a couple of pieces with lightning in it. Another one with a lightning crash. A couple of aurora borealis images that I could use here. One with a moon, the sky and the moon in it, starry sky, or just bright lights backgrounds, which I really don't like much. I don't use that hardly at all. And I've really never used this starry night either because I don't like the look of it either. But I haven't used the moon one yet before, but I'm going to go ahead and use that now. So I'm going to keep that. I'm going to do that as a hard light, or as a normal, I mean. So that's my base that I'm actually using. So it's the normal picture overlay, and I'm going to save that first. Then I'm going to go back into the overlays again, and I'm going to pick something else that's also dark to go with it. Now I could do that. You know, I see that on hard light, which is what it's listed on right now, that actually gives a nice effect and allows it to be able to shine through, and you can still see the moon here, in the image, but it almost looks like the moon is rising rather than the sun. So we want to keep it dark. So we want to use one of the Aurora Borealis ones. So let's see which one looks best. I like this one better. So we can use that, but we want to take it down a little bit because we don't want it to overpower. We just want to accent it a little bit. So I could do that and add that in and save that. And then I could turn around and I could go back in to my cloud pictures again and pick another cloud picture that I want to use to add some more clouds to it. Let's use this one since it's a little bit lighter. And we're going to go ahead and wait for that to pop in. Now it's popped in. Then we're going to expand it out. Now this one, actually, because the clouds are kind of generically spaced on there, I'm going to go ahead and place them let's center that first. Then expand it out, and then dim it down. So it looks like a cloudy night. And it gives a little bit of a cast on the moon, which is kind of cool. So that's another way you can actually do skies as well. Now, I want to go ahead and back up all this and go back to the beginning again. And then this program actually has another feature for doing skylines. Now, the problem with that is doing it without giving it a solid background first, it really doesn't show up very well. So what I want to do first is I want to go in and give it a darker solid background first. So let's get out of this. Yes, I want to discard that. All right. And I'm going to go ahead in my images, and I'm going to more selections here and go into my backgrounds folder that I have. And in my patterns, I actually have a black leather that I could use, that I think is what I'm going to actually use for this. It's going to be towards the bottom there. Come on. At least I think it's towards the bottom. Nope. I guess that was it up top that I saw. That's the one downside to this program is when I'm there it is. That I have when I have it sideways like this so I can actually work better, it tends to come on, cooperate, thank you. It tends to make it really minimal for me to be able to get to my stuff, so I don't have as many options showing at once on the screen. Now that I've done that, I want to save that. Now, like I'm saying with the sky, go to the sky feature in this. I'll wait for that to open up. And it opens up with the options at the bottom here. And I want to go ahead and look at my little sky ones. Now, these ones that say try, they're for premium members. I am not a premium member. I do not pay them a monthly fee to use their application here. But going ahead and placing that on there, it shows up better. The only problem is it's not showing up very well on that black leather. So let's discard that. Back up. Let me pick a different background. That'll work better. So let's go in here I gotta set this to JPG because all my files are JPEGs as far as my images go. But it for some reason this program defaults to the PNGs. Backgrounds, and I want something in. Let's go to my granulates because I know there's a couple of granulates there that are kind of dark. Those are my light color ones. There's a darker one. Let's use that darker one there. And just to make it even darker, I'm going to go into the levels and I'm going to add shadow to it to shadow it out. And accept that and do it one more time because I want to get rid of this extra here. Oh, levels, shadow. I'm going to keep repeating this process until that's all gone. And there it is. And it's all gone now. Okay, now we've got a blank screen there. And we're going to go back into the skies. And we're going to pick one of the free ones. Not working well on the black. Okay, well, while I have the black up, let me go into something that actually does work well with this. In the effects, there are a couple of different effects that actually work very well with this kind of thing. Under the filters first, if I go under the illusions, there's a couple that actually create some really nice background effects. Well, it's not going to... Nothing's going to work on the black. Okay, so let's go and get rid of the black. Get something a little bit lighter here. I know I have another one that's lighter that'll work better under the granulates. Okay, this one will work better because it's lighter. All right, now let's try that again. Now go in back into the illusions again. Yeah, see, that actually makes a little better. That one there makes a half decent one, but it's still need something a little bit lighter to make a really good effect on it. Another one of my favorites to use is this one here, but it's not showing up very well. This one does a nice little effect too. Now let's go into the skies and see if the skies will work better on this background that I'm working with here. Okay, going to one of the free ones. A little bit, not much. It's mostly going into the really light areas. So let's, since it's only working with the light stuff, let's go with something that's almost completely white. As a matter of fact, let's just pick something here that actually does not have a sky to it, or has a sky to it, but gives me enough room for a sky, or more sky. Wrong one. Not the one I wanted to pick. Pick that one, because that's got a lot of sky to it up in here. But this, you can replace the sky actually with the sky tool. It will replace the current sky that's there with whichever one you select. Now, come on, be nice. There we go. Now, see, and that just changed it. Instead of the one cloud like we had before, now we have multiples. And then changed it to the other one. And then a little less clouds. Lots of white storm clouds. Okay, so you can do it like that. Also, there's a moon effect here on this one. That's going to have to load in a minute because I haven't used that before. Oh, I went a little high, but I can bring it down. I can move it around a little bit. I can only move it so far though, but I can move it up and down to actually be where I want it to be. And there's a night sky one with a moon on it. Again, I can move it up and down, but I can't really move it. And I can also do that and take out the moon and just have the night sky itself. Now this is also is can be used for the, if you have it like portrait rather than landscape, and you can be able to get a larger sky on it there. And now that we actually have this going, let's see. Let's go into the Illusions tool again so that I can show you some of the different effects it can give as far as the sky goes. There's a nice one right there. Gives a good like sunset or sunrise. And that one didn't work so well on that. That worked okay on there. Another one that I actually use sometimes is under the effects in the photo director. There's a section marked fairy. That's all these different fairy tools. I think I pointed them out in my last video, but they give different colors. This one adds blue with a light shining down, so it looks like the sunlight. And of course, you can adjust the levels on any of these effects and filters that you use. You can also change the effects or change the levels on the sky as well, but I don't usually normally mess with those. I prefer to build mine from you know, bits and pieces. I've actually used the sky pictures that I have as a base, and then turn around and add the sky from the sky tool on top of it to add more clouds and effects, because I like to actually build mine. Another one in this that this program actually has under the effects is it actually has a nature section that has a couple of sky filters, so I could actually do it with a rainbow in it. So add a little rainbow. It's a very faint rainbow, but it's a rainbow. That one's supposed to be more of a sunset type sky. This one actually has birds up in the corner, and this one has a little moon. So it's like the daytime sky with where you can still see the moon, which you can normally do in nature sometimes too, depending on the positioning of the moon at the time. So those are just some ideas of how you can go in and create your own sky for your images, for your digital artwork or digital designs. Now this doesn't necessarily go just for artwork. As I said, it's also for designing. So if you're just a digital designer, you don't do art, you can still use some of these techniques and tools. And my suggestion is play around with the stuff. Learn it, you know, have fun with it. Don't stick with just one thing all the time. Try to be a little creative with it. The more you play with it, the more you discover different ways of being able to do things and be able to find some really, really cool alternatives that you can do on your own, especially if you're using images and overlays like I was using at the beginning of this video. Again, if you want to actually see some of my artwork that's finished with some of the skies that I've created and other art pieces I've done, you can always go to mydavisemporium.com, or you can go to the number 32-Andrew-Davis.pixels.com. And you can actually see that, and you'll also see the link for that for the website with the Pixels link for the website on in my channel, and you'll also see a link for my Facebook page for My Davis Emporium, so you can follow me on Facebook as well. Thank you very much for watching my video. Have yourselves a great day.